Hello everyone. This is my cousin Sam.
Hi.
She is, how old are you?
15.
And what process are you in with the braces? Where are you at?
I have my palate expander and next comes my braces.
Yes. So she has her palate expander in at the moment. She's still turning. I wrote down a couple questions, not a couple, actually like 15 questions I'm going to be asking her. I don't even know if it's 15, maybe it's like 12. But anyways, I'm going to be asking her these questions and she's just going to be answering them from her experience of working with me and starting orthodontics. So we're just going to get right into it. Were you and are you excited about braces?
I was excited about braces because I hate my teeth, obviously, and I'm enjoying the experience. Finally, I'm getting it done.
So you're still excited?
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you excited to get braces?
Because I want straight teeth, a good smile, because it's always been one of my biggest insecurities for sure. So I'm happy to get the ball rolling and finally start the process.
And just get it over with and have a nice smile.
Right.
But you gotta love the process while you're doing it.
Yes.
So picking colors, that's everyone's favorite thing to do. So I think that's why a lot of people get excited. That's why I got excited getting braces. I was like, I get to change my colors. Kids can pick different colors, like Christmas, there's a lot of green, red, Halloween, obviously orange, black, purple, greens, Valentine's Day, red and pink. So that's always fun. And of course, the most excitement is at the end when they get the braces off and see the result that they've worked so hard for. So we're going to go on to the next question. So give your best explanation on the palate expander process. So kind of what happened first, what happened second, and then, you know.
So first I got bands in, and I had to go back to the orthodontist twice during it so they could put like new ones on. And I got those on the top row. And those weren't really bad at all. I just liked picking at them, and that was not good.
Wait, so when you say bands, you mean spacers, right?
Spacers, yes. Spacers.
So the spacers are little mini rubber bands that go in between the teeth. We kind of floss them in there, and it just creates space in between the teeth so that we can get started to fit the palate expander. And she's saying that she got them on the upper arch because that's where the palate expander goes. We don't, at my office, we don't do lower expanders. We have other ways of expanding the lower jaw. But in her case, we're talking about palate expander, so she got spacers up top so that we can fit bands for the palate expander. So you can keep going.
And then I remember we got, what was it called, where they put the stuff on the like molds of your teeth.
Impressions.
Impressions. I got impressions. Those really weren't bad. Everyone said that it was the worst part, but honestly, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
And then after impressions, we started making the mold for the palate expander. And those did hurt because they were trying to fit the metal capsules on your teeth.
So those are the bands, yes. So we started fitting bands around her teeth. So we took the spacers out, and then we started fitting the bands around her teeth to make, and when she said mold, she meant the palate expander. So, yeah, okay, keep going. So sorry, I'm trying to explain.
You're good.
Just so that we're all on the same page. You know, I don't want them to be kind of confused.
I don't know the terms.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to relay that to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after
because you're totally correct. I'm just trying to like, you know.
After they put the metal pieces on, they took impressions again.
Yes.
And then I think they put those spacers on after.
Yes.
They put the spacers on after.
Yeah, so we had to fit 4 bands for the palate expander, and we had to take an impression because we have to work around those bands to make the acrylic the actual palate expander. And then we took the impression out, we put the spacers back in, and then go ahead.
And then the next appointment, they took the spacers out, and you started putting the palate expander on. And that was not as bad as, what's it called, like fitting for the palate expander.
Okay.
That really wasn't as bad. because they already knew which ones fit on your teeth.
Yeah. That's
So it was a lot faster and easier, and it didn't hurt at all.
good. So fitting for it hurt worse than actually putting it in, because we do have to try different sizes of bands on the teeth. It's kind of like fitting shoes. Like, you go to a shoe store, you got to see what size your shoe is, you know? If I put her shoe on me, it's not going to fit, and if I put my shoe on her, it's not going to fit. You know, we all have different size teeth. So we got to fit bands, and that makes sense. You know, fitting different bands is going to probably hurt a little more.
Yeah.
And so do you think it hurt, or was it hurt, or was it uncomfortable, or both? Putting the palate expander in.
When it's actually, you guys are actually putting it in.
Yeah.
It was just uncomfortable. I remember they used a little hammer.
A mallet.
A mallet.
Yes.
And that really didn't hurt at all. It was just uncomfortable hearing it.
Yeah. So let's rewind back. So the day she got her palate expander in, we had the palate expander made. So we took the impressions, we put the spacers back in, we sent her home. She came in, we took the spacers out. We had to put spacers back in because she wasn't leaving with the palate expander the day that she got the impression and the day that she got fitted for it. So after we fit her for it, we had to put the spacers back in so that we maintain the space that we've already created, because if we sent her home without a palate expander or any spacers, the space would, you know, close. So we put the spacers back in, she went home, we made the palate expander, she came in, we tried it in, just to try it without any cement. We took it out, we put cement, dental cement, we made up dental cement, put it in the bands, and used a mallet to tap it in. And tapping it in, she said, it was uncomfortable. So on a scale 1 to 10, how uncomfortable or painful was it?
The whole thing, or just...
The whole palate expander, yep, when we tapped it in the day you got it.
It didn't hurt. It was like a 1 on pain.
Really?
Yeah, but
okay.
Uncomfortable, it was like a 5.
Okay. Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you know, this isn't going to be the same experience for everyone. Everyone has different pain tolerances. So, you know, this is just sharing her experience, which thank you for sharing this and coming on here. I appreciate it. But, so yeah, just remember, everyone's going to be different, but this is just experience from her, and if you're looking for some, you know, information on it, this is why we're doing this. So, alright, well, that's good to know that it wasn't very painful, but more so just, like, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So when we do use the mallet, I wish I had one here to show you, but it does look like a mini hammer, but it is called a mallet, and we use a driver, and it kind of looks like the end of a screwdriver too. So there's, I'm going to try to explain this. So we're putting the palate expander on, and we put like the driver on the band and then hit the driver so it goes up on the tooth with cement. And then eventually the cement hardens, and that's how it stays in our mouth, so like well, and it doesn't fall out. But yeah, so the tapping, it just feels weird, like someone's hitting your brain.
Kind of, yeah. It didn't hurt. Just the look of it was scary, but
Yeah.
once you did it, like after once, it was fine.
Yeah. So I think a lot of kids freak themselves out because of the sound more so.
Yeah.
You know, rather than it like hurting. So I think a lot of people work themselves up about it. But all right, do you think that the palate expander is going to make a big difference in your treatment at the end?
Yeah, I do think it's going to make a big difference, because when I had my consultation with the, what do you call him, a doctor?
Yes.
He was showing me pictures of if I didn't want to go with it or if I did want to go with it, like a narrow smile compared to if you had a palate expander, a wider smile.
Right.
And there was a big difference, because with a wider smile, you couldn't see the like
dark spots.
Yeah, dark spots in the back.
Yes.
So I do think that's going to make a huge difference with that.
It just overall gives you a big smile, and that's what a lot of people like and want. it's just going to show your teeth. You know, when you smile, it's going to be the first thing people see. And, you know, when someone sees a smile, you automatically smile, and it makes you feel happier. And just overall, we love making smiles great, and, you know, just sharing smiles with each other. So the doctor's goal at our office is, you know, when a kid comes in and they're 14, 15, it's to make a smile for a 21, 22-year-old, because that's the smile you're going to be growing into and having for the rest of your life. You know, we're not going to make a smile for a 14-year-old or a 16-year-old, you know, because you're going to grow out of that smile. You know, younger kids will come in and get braces. They're obviously going to be changing. They're still growing. So we need to create a smile to stick with their growth. So ultimately, that's what we're doing. Expanding the upper jaw and just making a smile for a grown woman at the end of this. So you can keep it forever, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So do you think that the palate expander hurts today? Like, after you've had it for a couple weeks, so do you think it hurts right now? Just sitting in there, I mean. Not touching it, just...
No, not unless like the roof of my mouth gets sore, which does happen sometimes, but it's not often at all. I remember the first few days it was sore, but after that, where I'm at now, it really doesn't hurt. And even if I am sore, I just don't turn it for a day, and then it feels completely better.
Yes.
So.
And when we put palate expanders in our patients, we let them know that it's 100% like up to them with turning. Like, we may say turn once a day or every other day, but if they're feeling uncomfortable and they are in a lot of discomfort, we say just to go at their own pace. If they need to skip a day or two, do that, and then return to turning. If they're turning every day and they're still feeling discomfort, switch to every other day. Overall, it should be a good experience and not something that you have to like hurt yourself over, if that makes sense. So we just want this to be a good experience, and, you know, it may take a bit longer to get to the expansion that we want, but overall you're gonna feel much better, you know, going at your own pace, because everyone's completely different. So, all right. So do you turn the palate expander, or does your mom, dad, sister?
My mom turns it because I really can't see it that well. I mean, I can, but it's harder for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've tried, but
Yeah.
it's kind of more difficult for me, but I know other people that do it themselves.
Yeah.
But my mom does it, and...
Yeah. It's easy for her to just go in and push it back, and her sister also had a palate expander, so her mom's obviously a pro, and she probably just whips it right back, and that's it. But yes, some people do turn their palate expander by themselves. It'll probably take a couple tries to get like the hang of it, doing it yourself. You got to do it by feel when you're turning it by yourself. You know, if you have someone doing it for you, they're gonna do more by like look, more so than feel, because if you're trying to turn it yourself, looking in a mirror with your hand right here, you're not going to see the hole, because the hole's tiny. So you got to do it by feel. But yes, everyone has a preference, whether they do it, someone else does it. It doesn't matter as long as it's getting turned. That's great. So what do you eat with a palate expander? Do you have any restrictions? Do you find it easy to eat? Is it harder? Be honest.
So the first few days, I couldn't really eat anything too solid. I mean, I had mandarin oranges and a lot of drinks. But after that, it was completely fine. I was back to my rice cakes and peanut butter, which I loved. That's like my favorite thing. But
so does peanut butter get stuck up there when you eat it?
No, as long as you just swish around water right after, it's completely fine. And
I've never had a palate expander, so I'm honestly like curious.
Yeah, but yeah, peanut butter doesn't really get stuck. And then I went back to eating my normal food. Steak is really kind of hard to eat.
Steak?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, if it's like chewy steak, it's more difficult, but I still did it. And then
gotta do what you gotta do.
I ate a Snickers bar, and I was like, oh no, I'm not supposed to eat anything like chewy.
Yeah.
And the caramel got stuck on the roof. but I just switched around water like 3 times and it was out.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Do you chew gum with that?
No,
No?
I'm too scared.
Oh, okay. We might have to experience with it. I don't know if that's like, I don't think you're supposed to technically, but I bet people do. I don't know if it gets stuck though, honestly, because I've never had one, so I'm not sure. But I'm trying to think of any other foods that might be hard, but popcorn. How about popcorn? Have you had popcorn?
Yes.
Is that fine to eat
I
with
had
it?
kettle corn and it was fine. I
Yeah.
mean, it did get stuck in the, what's it called, the bracket part, the middle.
The molar bands back there?
Yeah, but after I brushed my teeth, it was fine.
Yeah, and that's just normal for braces. But you shouldn't be eating popcorn with braces because you shouldn't be eating like sticky, hard, chewy things like that. But it happens sometimes, so it's normal. Do you think you talk funny?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, the first few days, I sound like a complete nerd with my huge lisp. I'm getting more used to it now. Like, I can still hear it, obviously, when I talk.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better than the first few days. The first few days, you're going to sound like a snake, literally. But after that, it gets better, like more manageable.
Yeah, she's only had this in for about 2 weeks or so. So I'm sure she's gonna have it in for probably, we'll get to that. She's gonna be having it a lot longer than 2 weeks, so she's still gonna be getting used to it, learning how to eat and swallow with it. You know, it takes time. So, but she's saying like from day one to now, she's doing like 100% times better. So that's good to hear. Do you have more saliva? Do you
Yes.
have a lot, like just when the first day you got it, or even today you feel like you still have a lot of saliva?
Even today, I feel, well, the first day, you have a lot. Like, a lot.
Yeah, the day that we put it in, your mouth thinks it's food. So you get a lot of saliva, like, because it wants to break it down, but there's nothing to break down. So your mind just has to, like, learn, like, hey, it's in there for a reason. Like, we're not going to break this down, but...
Yeah, like, even today, I can feel, like, my tongue clicking it almost.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Trying to, like, swallow the saliva, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not bad at all.
Okay. How long will you have the palate expander for?
Probably 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Most likely, things go smooth.
Yeah. And that's just, like, for her case. Every case is different. That's, like, the usual, like, time frame, I would say. But it just depends on how often you're turning and, you know, just your treatment plan, what your orthodontist has in store for you. So it really just depends. But she's going to be turning for at least a month and a half, maybe 2 months, and then we're going to stabilize it. And stabilizing means we're going to put some plastic around the screw so she can't get to it because she's done turning, so there's no need to get to the screw. And then it's going to sit in her mouth for 3 months, because if we took out the palate expander the day that we got the expansion that we needed, we would just lose all the expansion. You know, we got to train her jaw to keep that expansion, because even after 3 months we take it out, you're going to lose 30 to 50% of the expansion.
Yeah.
So we do overexpand. We know that we're going to lose 30 to 50% of the expansion after it comes out. So we try to keep it in there 3 months to really keep that expansion and hold it. So she's going to be having it for about 6 months or so, just depending on her turning and what the doctors want. Does it hurt when you turn it?
No. It just feels, kind of sore for like 5 minutes.
Okay, well that's
really.
Good. So sore, or like pressure. People say they feel pressure.
Yeah, just pressure from your teeth.
Does it feel like sore muscles, kind of?
Yeah.
Almost?
Yeah, but in my, like, gums almost.
Yes, I know what you mean. Kind of like an achy, just kind of like annoying soreness, probably.
Yeah, but it doesn't really bother me.
That's good. Well, it only lasts for how long?
Like 5-10 minutes.
5-10 minutes. That's good.
And then I get used to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you are turning palate expanders, you should only feel pressure for 5 to like 15 minutes. If you're feeling discomfort for like an hour, that's not usually normal. And that's when we would probably say back up to every other day, or take a day or 2 off and then resume. So you should only be feeling that pressure for 5 to 15 minutes. So That's good that you only feel it for that long. Is the palate expander visible in your mouth?
Yeah, like the first day I got it, I was taking Snapchat videos of it like in the roof of my mouth. And everyone said that it just looked like a butterfly, like a red butterfly.
But I mean, like, do your friends say like, "Oh my gosh, I see your palate expander"? Just
No.
like talking.
No, I'll take videos like down here looking up at it, but just talking, nobody really sees it unless it's like the small metal piece.
Yeah,
right
do you want to
here.
show them? Try to at least just kind of go.
Right there.
Kind of turn your head towards me a little bit. There you go. And then go ahead and open, see if you can see it. There it is. So
if I smile, you can just kind of see that corner of the metal.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah. Not as visible as braces.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Because those are right in front.
I'm excited, though, to pick my colors.
Yes. And you can pick more than one color. You can pick as many as you want, just so you know. Because some people come in, like a lot of kids will come in, they think that they have to pick one color, when that's not the case. You can pick as many as you want. Mm-hmm. I used to pick rainbow, because that was complicated. But you can pick rainbow. I'm not going to think you're complicated.
Right.
We don't care. All right. How do you clean your palate expander?
I know some people say to get a water
Pick?
We have one, but it's not set up yet. So I just use my toothbrush and toothpaste. And then after that, I'll rinse my mouth out with water. And that usually gets like everything out when you rinse your mouth out with water.
Mm-hmm.
And then I rinse with mouthwash. That gets a lot out too, like above.
Right.
The palate expander, because there's a little bit of space where things can get in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of washes and cleans it. And then I'll gargle water again and until it's like clean.
Right. So you really don't need to buy anything special. A lot of people will ask me like, what do I need to buy? You maybe some mouthwash just to make it feel like minty fresh, and but really you just need some toothpaste and a toothbrush and some water. Mm-hmm. And just really swish around and take time to do it after you eat, and that's about it. And that just kind of keeps it clean, and because you don't want to. I mean, I'm sure after a while it would kind of like, I don't know if it would get stuck or not. I would think after a while the food would come off, but I don't know. Like if you didn't gargle any water or anything.
Yeah, like I've had it, the first day I got it actually, I was eating mandarin oranges. And we went to the store. This is actually kind of gross. But it like slipped down slowly, the whole mandarin orange. And I just swallowed it. It was the worst feeling.
Wait, so you swallowed a whole mandarin orange, like piece?
It was like cushy, like the mandarin oranges in the juice. Mm-hmm. Those ones that you eat as like a kid. I was eating those, and I was in the store and I didn't know what to do, and I just felt it go down my throat.
So you're saying you didn't even chew it; it just went down your throat.
Yeah, well, I thought I chewed it, and I thought I swallowed it.
I see.
But even sometimes, like when I ate that Snicker, I had like the little peanuts in it. Mm-hmm. Just slid down my throat.
Right.
So you can like feel it. It's not that bad.
Right. So we kind of already talked about this, but do you eat hard, sticky, or chewy foods?
All of the above, pretty much.
Okay. Besides gum, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Besides gum, I had a caramel apple sucker, and it was fine.
Yeah.
Because the caramel really doesn't come off the sucker.
Right. It just kind of disintegrates.
Yeah.
Because it's a sucker.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I had that, the Snickers bar. Those were like chewy.
Peanut butter was fine.
Yeah, peanut butter was fine. Actually, like, more things are hard to eat that are chewy. Snickers and peanut butter weren't as hard to eat as, like, steak or something real chewy. So, that's that.
So do you still eat steak?
Yeah. It's my favorite food, of course.
Fair enough. Alright, so the last question is, what is your advice for anyone going to be getting a palate expander? They may be nervous about getting a palate expander. Like, what is your advice or tips or anything that you want to say to them?
I would say to them that the process is a long process, but it's really not a bad process. It's kind of fun going in there, and like they do different things each time. It's really not bad. I would just tell them not to pick at your bands, because once you do, you cannot, or spacers.
Spacers, yeah.
Once you pick at your spacers, don't do it, because you will not stop. And to definitely use mouthwash, because that saved me a few times.
Good.
Cleaning it.
Yeah. Advice for anyone that's scared. They're like nervous and they're coming to you for support.
I'll just be like, don't be nervous, boo. It's okay. It's really not bad at all. It seems more intimidating than it actually is, for sure.
Yeah.
The worst part for me was probably the lisp, trying to get over it. And that's not even bad. So if that was the hardest part, then you shouldn't be worried about anything.
Good. Okay guys, so I'm just going to show you what it looks like inside her mouth. And then she's going to let me turn it. I'm going to try to record me turning it for you. It's going to be kind of difficult to kind of record it, but I will try my best. But I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So the main thing is getting it in the hole, pushing it straight back to the throat, and just dropping it out. You don't want to push it to the back of the throat and then push it forward, because you're going to undo the turn that you just did. You want to make sure it locks like in the back and just drop it straight down, because you know, if you push it forward, you're going to undo what you just did, and that's not the goal. We want it to expand. People will not go all the way to the back towards the throat, and it won't, like, you won't feel it lock, and they'll do almost a half turn. So the next day they're looking for the hole, and they didn't finish the last one, so they can't see the new hole. So what you're gonna have to do is go find the last hole, finish it, push it towards the back of the throat, and then you'll see the new hole. So, you know, it's at least this is for my palate expander, like the office that we work at. That is how it works, and I'm sure that's how a lot of them work, because a lot of them are different. But we have the Haas expander, so that's how they work, and that is how we do it. Okay, so we got a band on the molar, band on the bicuspid, band on the molar, band on the bicuspid. So there's 4 bands. Those are what we were talking about, fitting. And then this is acrylic, the pink, and then the screws right there in the middle. And that's the palate expander. So it just kind of sits up there and chills, and it's slowly just making her upper jaw expand. And she turns it right there in the middle. And like I said, I'm going to try to show you guys how we turn it. Alright guys, so this is the key. I'm trying to see if it focuses anywhere. So, just looks like that. I'm going to tie it around my fingers. So I'm going to hold it like this. I got the rope wrapped around my finger, so it doesn't go anywhere. Alright, so I'm going to try to zoom in. Go ahead and open real wide and chin all the way up. Gotta find the hole. I found the hole. The key is in it. I'm not touching it. It's in the hole, so that's why it's just sitting there. I'm gonna push it back. So we're gonna push it back. You ready, Sam? Alright. So I'm gonna push it back. And it's all the way back, and I just drop it out. Alright, and the next hole's ready. That is all we have from our lovely friend Samantha. So thank you so much for doing this video. I appreciate it.
Thank
and
you.
I'm sure a lot of people that will be watching this will appreciate it and all the information. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I do have a band-aid on my thumb. But anyways, give me a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. And let me know what you guys want to see next, or if we should do more videos with Sam, because I think we should. So give me some ideas that you want to see us do. That's about it. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.